Hello, I'm William Pace. Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. My guest is Brett Reinhardt from AIDS Foundation, Miami Valley. As you know, we start the show out by reading letters from the viewers, and I love this part of the show. Tonight's letter comes from a Bob Lipton, and he says, "Dear William, in high school, I didn't realize that I was going to school with a celebrity. Your show is wonderful, and you are a bright light in the city of Dayton. Sincerely yours, Bob Lipton." Well, thank you very much, Bob, for writing. And we're going to send you a smoke alarm from Gerald Baker of American Family Insurance. Coming up next, conversation with Brett Reinhardt. Stay with us. Hello, I'm William Pace. Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. My guest is Brett Reinhardt, who is a risk reduction educator for the AIDS Foundation Miami Valley. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
No problem.
Good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your duties. What do you do exactly?
Well, basically, I'm an educator, and what I do is I go out into the community to various organizations. I go to high schools, colleges, youth detention centers, prisons, and educate people about HIV, how the virus is spread, and then in turn how they can protect themselves from getting it.
Do you find today that many people, it's hard to believe, but do you find that many people still are uneducated?
Yeah. It is a little surprising with all of there is a lot of coverage, you know, on TV, and more characters have HIV than ever before. But when you really sit someone down and educate them about, you know, exactly how they can get it, they still have questions like, well, can you get it from saliva? You know, if someone spits on you, can you get it? Or, you know, can I get it if I share, you know, a snack, or go to the bathroom after someone, you know. You still get those questions. But, I mean, that's what we're here to do, you know. So.
Just to educate people and let people know. Do you think that there's more and more less reported cases of AIDS today as a result of the educational process?
Yeah, I do think that we are saving people in terms of them not getting HIV. So I do believe that our efforts are paying off.
Do you think that people, I guess some people think, I can't get it, I'm immune to it, it's not going to happen to me? Is that what some people think? Is that?
Yeah, especially since, at least for this country, HIV hit certain populations pretty heavily in the beginning, and then ever since then we've kind of, as a country, felt that only certain groups of people got HIV, and therefore if you weren't in that category or group, then you weren't at risk. And now what we're seeing is there's sort of a leveling off, of new HIV infections in those categories where, you know, we associate HIV, like the gay community or the drug-using community. Those numbers are beginning to level off because we've been doing a lot of prevention there, but now other risk groups are popping up, you know, for youth especially, and in particular minority youth, and also in the straight population, we're seeing great increases. So that's where we're beginning to target our efforts.
Let me ask you this. People who are in committed relationships, should they still practice safe sex practices? Can you even trust your?
Right. I mean, what you're going to have to do is sit down and really think about who you're going to trust your life with. And I mean, right now, my mom would be about the only person that I would trust my life with. Even in a committed relationship, there's always that possibility that they're going to do you wrong and sleep with someone else. And and they might not tell you about it, you know, because they want to keep the relationship, and then that's the you know, the way that you're going to get HIV.
Well, you know, I've heard of so many cases in the heterosexual community that women getting the AIDS virus because their husband had stepped out,
Right.
and so then they got the virus.
Right. Yeah, we're seeing that also with younger women who are dating older men. And I don't know if it's the power differential in that relationship and why they're not using condoms, but a lot of the women that are testing positive today are under the age of 25, and they say that they're getting it from their boyfriends, and those guys tend to be older.
What's being done about the people who are giving people the virus? Are there serious consequences for people who has the virus,
Right.
and does not tell someone that they have the virus,
Right.
and transmits the virus to someone else? What's being done about those people?
Well, in Dayton, there has been at least one person that I know of that has been prosecuted for that as a crime. I'm not sure who the person was, but I do remember hearing about that. In general, in Ohio, it's going to be a state-by-state law. And in Ohio, we're probably really close to passing, if it's not already passed, a law making it a felony. So people will be charged with murder or attempted murder if they knowingly infect someone else, or even attempt to infect. So
I can't imagine someone. It seems to me that would be just a very cruel thing for someone to even. I can't even imagine that someone would.
Right.
Want to do
Yeah,
that.
I don't think that that's really happening. I think the main worry for me is we have about 6,000 to 10,000 people that we estimate in the Miami Valley that are positive and don't even know it yet.
Oh.
So I mean, you can have HIV in your body for years before you even begin to suspect.
And you could be infecting other people and
Right.
not even
And
know.
that's what's going on.
Not even know. A lot. To what percent would you say that is going on?
I would think the majority of the people that are infecting other people don't know they have it.
Okay. So it's about 95%.
Probably, yeah.
Do you think today that there are going to be more and more cures for AIDS?
Well, we don't have a cure for AIDS, but we have ways of keeping people healthier for longer periods of time. The medications seem to be working for right now.
What I meant by cure was like medications that that's
Progressively better. Yeah, we're getting better medications, but like I said, some people will get on the medications and then they'll begin to feel ill because of the medications. We don't know how long the medications are going to work because we haven't had enough. You know, they're very recent. They're about 2 years, 3 years, 4 years old, and we don't know what those medications are going to do to your liver or to your heart.
Yeah.
So we really have no idea what they're going to, you know, in the long run, how those medications are going to work. It's kind of a guessing game right now and waiting it out and seeing what happens.
There's more to come on the William Pace Show. Stay with us. We're back talking to Brett Reinhardt, who is a risk reduction educator for AIDS Foundation, Miami Valley. We were talking before break, we were talking about that about 95% of the people are infected with the AIDS virus, and there are a lot of people who are infected that don't even know that they are.
Yeah.
And so what can we do about those people to get them in, get them tested, so that they can find out what the situation is? Why is it that more people won't go in and get tested? Why is that?
Well, I think for some people, the reason that they don't get tested, you know, they do know that they are putting themselves at risk by doing risky behaviors. And I think that in the back of their mind, they actually they think it's possible for them to be infected. And it's just that fear of knowing.
They can't deal with the fear.
They really can't deal with knowing that they have, you know, HIV and they're going to get AIDS. So I think a large part of that is people fearing being tested because they don't. They really would just rather live in ignorance. 'Cause ignorance is bliss. So they'd rather just try to forget about it. And most people don't get tested until they begin to show symptoms or signs. You know, maybe they begin to feel ill. You know, night sweats, things like that, and then they begin to think, well, maybe I should get tested because it is really affecting me. But that could take 5 years or so. So we're coming up on a National Day of HIV testing, and that's really the goal, is to try to get as many people tested as possible. But it's really difficult to try to get people to come in and get tested.
You know, are there free places where you can go and get tested so you don't have to pay? I know a lot of people are afraid that other people will find out that maybe they have the virus and they don't want people to know.
Right.
And so there's a place you can go where it can be done very discreetly then? Yeah,
the Combined Health District of Montgomery County, they have several different testing sites around the area. 351 West 3rd, the administration building, they have an STD
across from Sinclair.
Clinic. Right,
Okay.
right across from Sinclair.
Okay.
You can get a free test at any of the Combined Health District sites. You can also get what's called an anonymous test, and that's what I would recommend. Anonymous meaning they give you a number, and that's the only identification that they have. So they don't have your name, they don't have your address, phone number, social security number. They have no way of knowing who you are. And that way you can take, you know, control of your own life and decide who knows if you're positive or not, and when you tell people, how you tell people. It's all up to you. So I would recommend getting an anonymous test. And it is free. Sometimes I'm thinking, especially around the testing day, National Testing Day, they'll probably give out certificates, you know, $10 certificates here or there, to get people to come in and get tested. So now would be a good time to get tested.
I want to talk about some of the other areas of the foundation and the work that they do in the community. I know they have various programs throughout the year to raise money, to raise awareness of AIDS. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we basically we think of the foundation in two sections, like our education section and then our services section. I obviously work for the education. In services, we provide, we get Ryan White money, and we distribute that out to people who would need it for housing, other shelter issues, food, clothing, medications. So we have about 5 or 6 case managers who then work on a case-by-case basis and help people out. And we get some money from the state. We get some money from the federal government. But what we're going to have to do, because there are so many cutbacks that Congress is proposing and doing, we're going to need more support from the community itself. And so
this is a great time to ask the community out there for their support, because
there are a lot of people out there that need it.
Because the community can play a big part in helping right here in our own backyard people who are suffering from AIDS. Your contribution, regardless, even if it's only $10, you know,
that would be great.
Would go a long way in helping.
And that would stay in the Miami Valley.
Right here in Dayton, city of Dayton. And give us an address where someone who would like to maybe send a contribution could send it to.
You could send it to you could just put AFMV at the top, and 211 South Main Street, Suite 1000 in the Fidelity Plaza building, Dayton, Ohio 45402.
Great, because you know, this is a real needed cause. I can't even imagine what we would do if we didn't have the foundation.
Right.
You know, can you imagine? You know.
Yeah, there would be a lot of hurting people out there.
A lot of people suffering. Lastly, I want to talk to you about the future for the foundation. What do you see ahead in terms of education?
We're in the process of hiring a youth educator to take over some of my responsibilities so that I can move on to different areas of the community. But the youth educator will be predominantly working with youth in the schools and designing a way, since you know 1 out of every 4 people that test positive today are under the age of 21, we're figuring that these people are getting it very young, you know, around in their teens definitely. So we want to start a more comprehensive plan that will work to better educate the students when they need it most, which is when they might get infected. So that's our main goal right now, along with you know, getting our walk together, which is another big fundraiser.
Let's talk about the walk coming up. Is
The
there
walk
one in the fall or something?
Yeah, it's in the fall, and you could call the foundation and get more information as we're still in the process of setting it up.
Okay. Maybe next time you could come just before the walk and,
That would be
be
great.
on the show. Give us a phone number for the viewers who might want to get more information.
You could call 461-2437 or 461-AIDS.
Great. Thank you so much for coming on the show, my buddy. And we can't let you leave without a box of Esther Price Fine Chocolates. It's Dayton's best.
Yum.
And also a gift from Lines by Louise Flores.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for coming on. There's more to come on the William Pace Show. Stay with us. In the early days, folks, it was I just wanted to be on television, but you know, now it's just not good enough for me to be on television. I really want to say something that will make a difference in the lives of you, the viewers. I want to be able to say a word of hope, a word of encouragement, or just to say something that might inspire you. So that's why I decided to do this inspirational moment. And tonight's inspirational moment is brought to you by Lines by Louise Flores in the Randolph Plaza. And it comes from great quotes from great leaders. Any fact facing us is not as important as our attitude towards it, for that determines our success or failure. The trouble with most of us is that we would rather be ruined by praise than saved by criticism. Believe you are defeated, believe it long enough, and it is likely to become a fact. Plan your work for today and every day, then work your plan. We tend to get what we expect. Think enthusiastically about everything, but especially about your job. If you do so, you'll put a touch of glory in your life. If you love your job with enthusiasm, you'll shake it to pieces. Become a possibilitarian. No matter how dark things seem to be or actually are, raise your sights and see possibilities. Always see them, for they're always there. When you affirm big, believe big, and pray big, big things happen. We struggle with the complexities and avoid the simplicities. That's our inspirational moment for tonight. Gotta go. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.